Hello beautiful people, it's Andi again. So last time we were together, I talked about all the changes and struggles that I personally have been through the past year, and I talked briefly on how I dealt with them. This time I want to go much more in depth about how to manage stress and how you can overcome those external stressors that cause you stress and anxiety. So I'm going to start with the full disclaimer here. I am in no way a medical or licensed professional in any way, shape, or form. These are just methods and tricks that I have cultivated over years of personal experience and observation. Some of them may work for you, some of them may not. Maybe none of them work for you. But I do hope that they can at least provide a guide or a starting point for you to find your own methods and map out your own path towards better mental health and emotional well-being. Also, I should add that this method and process that I'm about to go over is not intended for events that would cause severe emotional trauma, I would say, such as the death of a loved one, being subjected to prejudice or racist attacks, which is running rampant in our country and society these days. Big things like that, please seek help. Those are not things that you can tackle on your own. No one expects you to. Those are serious issues that we all need to tackle together. This is to help you with things that are completely within your control and won't impact your physical, emotional, or psychological health and well-being. I'll admit I lead a very privileged life, all things considered, and there are plenty of things that I don't have experience in and have no right to speak on. There are plenty of people a part of this wonderful project who have had experience and can help you, and I very much encourage you to listen to their stories and to reach out to them to get the assistance you need and to utilize all the resources available to you to tackle those big issues. And the same thing for me. I'm always happy to help wherever I can, and if I can't, I will let you know and I will find you someone who can. Okay, back to the video. So, first and foremost, I want to talk about the two different ways that human beings handle and respond to stress or anxiety or high pressure situations. There's the emotional response and the analytical response. The whole left brain, right brain thing. So the first thing we're all familiar with, the emotional response. Something happens, we respond to it with some sort of emotion, be it positive or negative. However you respond to it, whatever emotions come to the surface at that moment, it's perfectly fine, perfectly normal, it's okay. No matter what happens, don't ever feel like you have to respond or feel a certain way in response. Even if your reaction is to feel nothing, that's totally fine. That is your brain compartmentalizing what it's going through and giving you a chance to breathe and step back and calm yourself before you're mentally strong enough to tackle the situation. So rule number one, your initial response, completely fine. Also, if you hear some weird noises in the background, it's my cat, I'm sorry. So let's circle back to the main point, the emotional response. The first step we go through in tackling any sort of problem. This is also the part where most people struggle with. They either get caught up in their stress, anxiety, in their grief, in their anger. If you're an emotional person, it can be really hard to curb those responses and figure out a plan to fix the problem at hand. You're not going to be able to come up with a foolproof plan on tackling this problem if you're sitting there having a panic attack wondering how exactly you're going to come up with a plan. So if step one is to allow yourself to react however you feel like reacting, then step two is to release those emotions so you no longer feel overwhelmed and can look at the problem with the analytical part of your brain. Now, when it comes to managing stress, we've all heard the usual things. Go take a walk outside, read a book, have a nice hot bath, have a cup of tea. And those are all well and good. Personally, I find it very calming to get myself lost in the woods. But there are also times when my initial response is to go throw a pillow against a wall. Your mind and body is very good about telling you what it needs and wants to do. The hard part is listening and figuring out exactly what it's trying to say. And honestly, the only way you're going to figure that out is through trial and error. I do recommend keeping a list of different things you try and how you respond to those methods. That's a really good way of figuring out what works for you. It's very easy to forget and get lost in your own thoughts. So having a physical reminder of what you can do to help yourself is very good. So you try all the usual methods: tea, a bath, taking a nap, nothing is working. You're still feeling freaked out and stressed. So let's dive a little deeper. The question I want you to ask yourself, is this something that will cause harm to my main pillars? Your 3 pillars are going to be your financial stability, personal growth, and emotional well-being. To put it plainly, will this issue either attract or repel money, your goals, or your happiness? If it somehow negatively affects any of those 3 things, then it is a problem that is worth tackling. That's not to say that other issues in your life aren't worth fretting over. It's just that this problem currently affecting one of those 3 pillars definitely needs to be tackled and deserves your attention right now. These are the type of problems that normally can't be fixed with a simple cup of tea or going for a walk. This is the serious stuff that can really affect you. So we've established that this is a top tier problem, for lack of a better term. So the next thing I want you to do, don't ask yourself, is this something I can fix? Tell yourself, this is something I can and will fix. Bring that positive affirmation in. That will start the process of calming your brain and reaffirming yourself that you're okay, that this too shall pass, and that everything is going to be okay. You may not see it now. We're going to get to that a little later, but for now, I need you to calm that emotional response. So by now we've established that this is a problem worth tackling and that you can and will do it. But we're still feeling panicked and stressed out about this. So what I've personally found to be the best thing for me, hopefully it works for you, is to think about what will happen and how life will be once that problem is gone. Picture yourself conquering all your problems and all your struggles and having the life that you want for yourself. A life where those 3 pillars we talked about, solid. They're not going anywhere. You're exactly where you want to be. Don't start panicking and telling yourself that you're never going to get there. Just let yourself feel that happiness. It may take a while, but your mind will get lost in the fantasy and then your emotions will calm down. You have to let yourself feel and process as your mind wants to. What we're doing is providing a roadmap to let your mind naturally get to that point. So let me put another disclaimer here real quick. If these symptoms continue to persist, nothing you do is helping you conquer them, please seek medical professional help. There are all sorts of resources available. A lot of them are right here at the K-Pop for Peace site. K-Pop for Peace is a wonderful resource for this. And if anyone tries to make you feel bad for needing help, they're not worthy of you. You don't need them in your life. What do they bring to the table? Nothing. If they don't care about you, don't care about them. All right, let's get back on track. So we've gotten to this point. Congratulations, you have conquered your fears. The emotional response is calmed and put to bed. That right there is a huge accomplishment. Give yourself a pat on the back. And now that we've cleared the air, we can start tackling the issue analytically. Once your emotions are under control and your brain is free to come in and do its thing, the problems get smoothed over so much quicker. Trust me. So once you're ready for this, I want you to sit down, possibly have a pen and paper ready to go, and I want you to go back to when you're fantasizing about the life you want. All your problems are gone. This stressful thing that's giving you problems right now is no longer an issue. Think about that life that you want for yourself. Now, the first thing you have to do is sit and be really honest with yourself. This life you want for yourself, is it a reality? Personally, I would love to be getting ramen somewhere and having Kevin from The Boys just walk into the restaurant and see me laughing it up and dancing like an idiot with my friends, and all of a sudden we hit it off and we become besties. But that's just not reality. Could I go back to school and continue pursuing music production and get a job at his record label and then meet him and become besties with him? Yes, that is entirely possible. The point is, it's important to separate conceptual reality from fantasy. And if your main goal, dream life, is something that can actually happen, start working backwards and break down how you're gonna get to that goal. And I'll be honest, it's probably gonna take you a long time. But having that map laid out in front of you is seriously gonna help you focus on your goals and not let those external forces distract you, because now you have a plan. And now that you have a plan and a goal and a map and you're motivated and excited, go all the way back to what started this one instance that is just giving you so much stress and anxiety that's made you question everything and wonder how you're ever going to conquer this. Because now you're emotionally stable and motivated, so whatever that issue is, you are going to be able to face it head on and figure out a plan on how to overcome it. And truly, half the time, once you sit back and you look at the big picture like this, that issue that's causing you all these problems doesn't even matter anymore. It's just gonna take time, but that's okay because you've seen the big picture. A lot of problems that we have in our daily lives are things that we can easily conquer as long as we just give ourselves the proper tools. But there will be times when the situation is much more dire and you do need to get outside help fixing this problem. It's the modern era. No one ever has to do anything alone anymore. You may feel alone, but I swear on my life that you are not. I know putting yourself out there is extremely difficult and scary, but it is the best possible thing you could ever do for yourself, and the relief that you will feel, it's indescribable. And I really hope that this method we've been discussing can help you give yourself the tools that you need to achieve your goals and give yourself that mental stability and desire to grow and thrive that you deserve. I'm not going to tell you it's going to be easy. It's going to be a struggle bus. But what I can tell you is you're not going to be alone. There's other passengers. There's other people on that bus. And you don't even have to drive it. We're all human and we're all going to struggle. And a lot of us struggle with the exact same thing. You are in control of your own life, but you don't have to be in control alone. And let me just say, I am proud of you. The fact that you are watching this right now and you are willing to try and find a way to better yourself, bravo. That is an accomplishment all its own. Already, you're more capable than you ever thought you could be. And I am proud of you. So the next time something happens and you feel like you just can't get out of this hole, remember, let yourself respond the way you respond. No matter what you do, no matter what you feel, it's correct. Guide those emotions to a positive place where you feel calm and prepared to tackle the situation. Make a plan on how to overcome this situation. And finally, acknowledge what you have just done. Give yourself the praise and love that you deserve. You've just earned it. You are so much stronger than the problem at hand, and I can't wait to see you live your life the way you're meant to.